So apparently I can't. Well, that sucks. Okay, well, we won't do that. That totally sucks. So this ain't. I guess it's not showing, or it's not nothing. I don't know. It's kind of fucking weird. So really, I don't know what's going on here. So is somebody there? Oh, that could have been me watching. I was in my YouTube app trying to share the stream. What anybody sees here on the screen is Sarah. Good morning. You can hear me, can't you? Let's say you can hear me, can't you? Oh, I'm testing. I'm just working around with Restream again this morning. I normally don't go live this early, but I guess I'm a little anxious or something. How are you doing? Hold on a minute. Let me go back to the comments. How you doing, Victoria? Getting ready to start schooling the kid. Hopefully my see, I was trying to test this out. Well, I did pretty good on this yesterday with Restream, and then yesterday afternoon I got to go into my buddy Johnny Scab's stream. He's testing out Restream also as a search for when you want guests and you want to be able to do other fancy stuff with your live stream. He normally uses StreamYard, but his hours have been cut down. And with this particular thing, we have unlimited hours on the free plan. Like I can stream all month through Restream and not have a limit on my hours. The only restrictions they really have is like people that want to to have a live premiere for a pre-recorded video. On the free version, you are limited to only so many videos, and then they can only be 15 minutes long. So, but I don't ever do any. I don't really ever record and then set a premiere. I just upload it. But I'm understanding that if I premiere the video, it might get better reach. Oh, okay. So you're, yeah, I haven't been up long myself. Actually, why I'm standing up right now, I'm going to go back in my room in a second. I'm going to pour a little bit of this coffee I made from yesterday, put it in the microwave real quick. And then we're going to go back in my room for a minute. I just got my dogs back in. And what I might do, because I haven't recorded my Jesus Calling video this morning. You know what I thought about doing? Well, I mean, when I first started reading Jesus Calling, I've came up with a dilemma because I don't remember when I started it, but I started it shortly after someone gave this to me. Hold on a minute, guys. Wait, I didn't even microwave it. I really don't care if it's microwave, but I mean, I don't drink hot coffee. I usually put ice in mine if I have ice, but I wanted a little one. I'm usually a little slow, but what I was saying about Jesus Calling is when I originally started it, I was like, well, whenever I get to this time next year from whatever day I started on, because I just started it from whenever I started it, I got someone gifted it to me and I'm reading it every day to myself. And in the beginning, I wasn't reading it every single day on the channel. You probably even know that. You've been with the channel long enough that you probably remember that sometimes you might get a Jesus Calling video for a couple of days, and then for 2 or 3 days, I might not do one. And then at the beginning of this year, I just started with trying to be as consistent with it as possible, simply because it is a daily devotional. But originally I thought, well, hey, originally I thought, well, whatever month I started in last year, when I get to that month this year, it'll be the end of it. And I'll, find another devotional or something. But like, since I've started this year, I've been pretty consistent. There's only been 1 or 2 times where I kind of missed anytime I missed a day, I've come back and redid it. Like, I think I've tried, I've tried to catch up, whether it be me doing 2 readings in one video or doing 2 different videos to make it caught back up. Give me a second. All of a sudden, I got a little bit of little nausea. I mean, I've not been sick or anything, and I definitely haven't been drinking. So, but a lot of times in the mornings, I'll because I take several supplements. Like I take a vitamin C. I have to take metformin, then I take like zinc. I took a couple of aspirin, a blood pressure pill. Trying to think what else I took. I don't think I've took everything, but there's several different things I take, not necessarily prescribed. There's only 2 prescription drugs I have. Like I said, metformin and then the blood pressure. But I thought, actually, probably not a great idea. I mean, hold on a minute. God darn it. There we go. I think I got to mix with this and get it a little bit more. There's got to be a way for me to get this just about right. But I'm glad you're able to be here for a minute. If you're not, you said it'd be a little bit before you. But what I was going to say is, with this, isn't it cool? I can do this and show y'all Sarah. So that's Sarah. Hold on a minute. That's why. Well, I don't get nauseous every day, but I haven't been up long. But I took some medicine and stuff a little while ago, and of course, I don't usually eat in the mornings. I don't usually. If I can help it, I try my best to not. Hold on a minute. Trying to figure something out here. We can do this too. See, that's what I'm. So I'm exploring around with Restream this morning, and that's again trying to get the hang of it. Through their mobile, I can do a lot more here. It seems like through the mobile than I can on the on StreamYard. God darn it! Yeah, she was a beautiful soul too. Like it's strange. I'm not trying to get into this weird conversation, but I was going to say it's always strange in my life that the few actual like long-term relationships I've had in my life, most of them turned out to be with fairly, bigger women. But it's weird because I mean, I've never talked about this kind of stuff. My actual, do you know how like you have an image in your head of kind of like what you prefer, but sometimes we don't always necessarily, like sometimes our actual preferences may not get met in the sense of who we end up with. But if I'm going to enter a relationship, it's of course, there's some kind of visual quality that's attracted me to somebody, but usually it's in a conversation that makes me want to really get to know them or be closer to them. That's what it was with Sarah. Yeah, she's a pretty girl, I think. She was also a lot younger than me. So that was flattering. Like I was in my 40s and she was in her 20s. So it was like, but she preferred older men, and she was a lot more mature than half the people my age and stuff. She was far, kind of like the old saying, an old soul. Hold on. Yeah, it's the person's heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have been with other women. It's like I wasn't meaning that someone that, like you just, I know that what I'm like, if I'm going strictly by what I'm looking at, like visually, what I would normally be attracted to. But in my life, I was never that superficial. So to me, I'm more attracted to deepness. So a person's appearance could be completely like I could be getting to know someone that to everybody else, and even I can maybe go, yeah, they're not the prettiest person, but gosh, they are the most astounding person. And that makes them the prettiest person to me. Like I have seen some beautiful people visually aesthetic, but the shittiest personality, and it just makes me not even want to be around them. Like I could care less. If all you have is your looks, then I feel sad for you, you know? I hope everybody's doing okay today. Why don't we see what Jesus Con does have to say? Even now, this might trigger nobody to watch the video. I just realized that. Maybe I shouldn't read it in the live, and we'll just save that for the video. I could read something else. Yeah, I mean, if you can't build a true relationship, when we're talking about a romantic relationship, not just a friendship, but actual intimacy other than on a friend, you know what I mean? Like where you've created a physical bond also. If all you have is a physical bond, that's like the relationships I have been in my life. Of course, usually in the beginning, it was a lot of physicality, you know, but usually after a little while, for me, I tend to want to step back and I don't want to have as much, you know, adult activity and things. I've had some girlfriends in my life that would get pissed at me because I could go weeks at a time not want to do anything. You know what I mean? And oh gosh, they'd get mad. Why don't you want to do anything like that? And I'm not talking about going to the movies, do anything. I'm trying to be respectful. But you know what I'm talking about. We're adults. Now, a few people have tuned in, but I think it's the same deal with if I'm using the YouTube app. Sometimes the registering of the eyeballs on the thing is fluctuating. Like right now, I see that it's showing one, but just 30 seconds ago, there was 5 people watching. So guys, anybody that does have their eyeballs on here, if you could hit that like button. I really don't know if I don't know if I can see where you've hit the like button when I'm here on this restream, but I'll see it over there on YouTube. If you can hit the like button, and also if you're watching and you do want to chime in the chat, feel free to do that. What I was trying to do is I do have an option to share music. So I went and downloaded a couple of songs that are from my old band. And then which is my band was a very heavy band. But I was like, well, that would be cool if I could play one of the or two of these songs in a live stream and let people, you know, get a glimpse into the past and hear me on the drums and doing some vocals and stuff. But apparently, I think that might just be if I want to upload it to my channel or something. Because a minute ago I was trying to play the songs I have downloaded, and then but they won't. So apparently I can't do that, and that's fine. We won't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. And you hear me just about every time you've ever seen me in a live stream. I usually talk about that. A lot of times it happens a lot in the beginning. I actually should have took the time because I believe, if I'm correct, I think with this free version, I could be having this streamed over to X also at the same time. On StreamYard, you could only stream to one platform at a time for the free one. You had to pay to get it to multiple platforms. So I guess when I'm done with this, I might need to research that. I'm pretty sure I read that that's the case, that we're able to, I want to say, if I read correctly, I should be able to do that. And I don't know how I would do that now, since I've already started the stream and we're on YouTube. I don't believe this is going over to X. I did connect before I did like I did a short little live where I just beat on the tub with my sticks there for a minute, a little bit ago on YouTube, ended it, went over to X, streamed over there through Restream for 10 or 15 minutes. Nobody was showing up. And then I was like, well, I'm going to see about, I need to read up and see, can I do this? Can I start one over on YouTube and then transfer it over to the X app also at the same time? Well, my numbskull butt didn't take the time to do that. I completely kind of flaked it on that idea and just came back in and went straight live here. So, see, today is March 26th. Yeah. Why don't we see what it does have to say for us? Like, I'm still going to be doing the video, but since you're here, let's, I don't know if you, but waiting on me means directing your attention to me in hopeful anticipation of what I will do. Excuse me. It entails trusting me with every fiber of your being instead of trying to figure things out yourself. Waiting on me in the way I designed you to live. Or waiting on me the way I designed you to live. All day, every day. I created you to stay conscious of me as you go about your daily duties. I promised many blessings to those who wait on me. Renewed strength, living above one's circumstances, resurgence of hope, awareness of my continual presence. Waiting on me enables you to glorify me by living in deep dependence on me, ready to do my will. It also helps you to enjoy me in my presence. In my presence is fullness of joy. You'll get a better if I do the video. When I do the video, it'll come out better anyway. I hadn't read it this morning to myself yet anyway, so. And we'll, I don't know when I'll make the video. It'll be here in the next hour or two. I'll be doing the video. Probably when I get off this live stream, I'll figure out what I might need to do before. Actually, when I end the live stream, I might just go in there and make the video, but I don't really know yet. And I'm excited because yesterday, I don't know if you saw, I explored around with, I just typed in a couple of things into the YouTube, and I found like a channel that had like a couple of certain style drum beats of type of music stuff I like. So I took that and played it in the background from my other device while it was on the hot spot, and then recorded myself trying to just like improvise, putting words to it, just trying to like see what I could do with it. And one of those, it was just drums. It was like a stoner rock type beat, and I put some words to it. Some of the words I wrote a while back, it's kind of lean, in between. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I did that, and then my buddy Chris Meeks, in the comments was like, hey, man, you want me to put some guitar to that? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how. He was like, and then I'll send it to you. And I was like, well, I don't know how I'd put, I was thinking he meant he'd write a little guitar part, send it to me, and I could add it. And then he's like, well, I'll do it. Anyway, he made a short last night. He had got his acoustic out, I guess, and then he played my video in the background so you could hear me. You don't see the video, but you can hear my voice, and then you hear the drums behind it that I was singing to. And he put some pretty cool little bluesy riffs to it, and I really like that. I hope that me and him can maybe. I wish I had not screwed up last year with that laptop. I don't know if you were watching the channel at that time, but Teresa, the subscriber Teresa, who you have chatted with before, we haven't seen her in a chat in a while. Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping a few other people. Well, truthfully, I don't know how long I'll stay on here right now, but as long as if there's someone watching and someone here at the moment, I'm going to stay on for a little while anyway. Like, you're here. You don't get to come in and be here a lot of times just because you're busy. So it's kind of cool. I decided to come on this early. I got to remember that there's some people that if I do a stream in the morning, it'll work out better for them and they're able to be here. There's other people, it just works better for me in the afternoon to be live, and because a lot of people work and stuff. So at certain times, after a certain time of day, a lot of times I found that I get more people on me watching, like it seems like, but you really never know because yeah, and if anybody is wondering that's got their eyeballs on this, other than Victoria, the image you see above me is Sarah Boylan. That is who passed away in 2018 of a drug overdose, and she was very dear to my soul. That's why we say ditto on this channel, because that was her and I way of telling each other we loved each other. I came up with that, and I said we should have our own way of saying I love you so that we're not overusing the word love. I don't have a problem with saying I love you, but I remember my friend Carl, a hippie years ago, saying, and I didn't understand it then. He was raised in a family where they didn't say I love you a lot. And he said because he felt like it made, when he did tell someone he loved them, it made it more, how do you because they didn't tell each other they loved each other all the time, all day long, every time they saw each other, when they did say it, it meant more. And then years later, I was able to understand. See, I was raised to be freely saying I love you all through the day, to your mom, to whoever was close to. I love you, brother. Love you, love you, love you, love you, mama. Love you, son. Love you, love you, love you. And that was just the way I was raised. But then when Carl explained that to me, I was kind of confused. Then it was like I said, you skipped to later in life, and I got with Sarah, and I was like, we should have our own special word. And mine mainly had that. I came up with that so when me and her were outside, she stayed at the woman's shelter, and then I'd hang out during the day and because I'd rented a room from somebody, and then we would hang out. A lot of times we'd drink and we'd be like hanging out with other homeless and street people, and I just thought it was a cool way of like, not everybody had to hear us saying I love you to each other all the time. And if we parted ways, we just say ditto. And another one says ditto. And like whether anybody else knew what we meant, we knew what we meant. So there, I'm just kind of explaining. I see what you said. Your son plays guitar, taught himself. So important to let people know you do. My kids always tell me. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I guess, like I felt sad for Carl when he explained it to me, when he was saying why he didn't say I love you a lot. But in the same respect, like I said, it took me a few years to finally kind of grasp that concept that the overuse could maybe weaken it, which could make sense. You know what I mean? Like if you oversaturate something, then sometimes, like, it's just like anything. It's like if we say it too much, other people might take it for granted. But then I'm also from the standpoint of like, the thing I said yesterday on Gray Cloud's Thoughts, make sure, like, no matter how you express your love for somebody that you care about, whether you say it outright, I love you, or you have your own special ways of showing them you love them, make sure you do that. Because there's some people that just don't want to say it, but they show it in their actions. There's a lot of men that do that they might not say I love you a lot, but they freaking show it. And that matters too. Because sometimes we don't have to hear it. We can just see that the way someone treats us is love. The way someone listens to us when we have a problem is love. The way someone is willing to open up to us if they have a problem and stuff, that's love, But anyway, that's how it is for me. Boy, I'm getting a little warm. I got the heater on. Don't really need it, I guess, but I did work on this too. What is it? What are you gonna do when they come here and try to tear you down? Or what are you gonna do when you have no one and you feel like a clown? What are you gonna do when you think you're someone and you're not anything? What are you gonna do when you know you've almost went insane? But yeah, like that. It's like I just know that, hell, even people that I don't care about that much, but maybe I have some sort of relationship with, I still don't want to end on bad terms. Like, I would hate to part with someone that is in my life, even if we're not the best of friends, and no, we're not always getting along, but we do have a repertoire with each other. I still don't want to have an argument with them and then never see them again and be like, man, the last time I talked to that motherfucker, I told him I fucking hated him or something. And I would hate to have that. And uh, you know, like, I know there's I might tear up here for a second. I can tell you that my brother died in a car wreck when he was 19, and it didn't really affect me. I was 9 or 10, so I've done dealt with a lot of people dying already and been to plenty of funerals. Now, my brother was my closest person at the time dying to me, I guess. But I was gonna say, what I mean is, because my brother had trouble in school, like I was, like I said, he was about 9 or 10 years older than me. I was always known to be pretty good in school, even like in elementary. Everybody bragged about how good I was and all that shit in my grades. And because my brother, he was dyslexic, skipped a lot of school. He dropped out at one point. Then he went back, but he had to go back into the last year he was in instead of being in with his own class. And then so he dropped out again. And I remember, now, of course, I didn't know any better as a kid, but I remember having arguments with him before he died and calling him stupid. And so, you know what I mean? Like, you're stupid. You don't, you can't even, like, talking about his grades, or like, because he'd be picking on me because I'm younger. But like, for me, I would lash back with an insult on his intelligence because I knew he had trouble in school. Well, at that time, I didn't know he was dyslexic either. You know what I'm saying? I was just a kid. So after his death, it did affect me for a little while. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like, so But yeah, so that's kind of, where we're at with that. And then I can do this too. I can change the image. Let's change the image for a little while. We've talked about Sarah and I've got her up there. I'm going to remember that. Then we can do this. I'm going to put a quote up there or like and what I'm going to do real quick is make it full screen for you. Oh, wait. Hold on. That's me full screen. Let's do this. And I might have posted that in the community, but it's kind of fun that I can do this. So I'm enjoying that part of it. Now let's go back to, and what I'm getting at is I know that that's not something that, I don't think about it a lot no more, but I just remember that being something that stuck with me for a while. It's like, why did, like even at 9 or 10 years old, after my brother died, all I could think about was the couple of times I called him stupid and insulted him as a kid. And I'm sure he didn't take it to heart, but, it is what it is. So as an adult, I would hate to have that situation where, I mean, it wasn't like he died and the last thing that I ever said to him was that, but I would definitely I would hate to have any of that, where I've been snide or insulting to someone at some point and we not maybe I never really said I'm sorry or corrected myself and then they're gone, Um, like I said, I'd hate to get in an argument and sometimes in the heat of an argument you'll say all kinds of stuff. Oh God, I wish you died. Oh, I hate you. My mom used to be bad about that. My mom was my best friend, but she would be like, sometimes she'd get drunk and then she'd be like, just like, as an adult, as an adult man, I couldn't stand when my mom would be like, I flat backed it to keep you out of the projects. Ooh, that was pretty hardcore. So as an adult, man, I'd throw it back. I think maybe even as a teenager, but probably more as an adult, like in my 20s. I'd be like, look, no, if you did anything to stay out off of welfare or whatever, and you're blame and you got a self-conscious about it, don't blame me. I say you did that to keep yourself out of the projects, not me. You didn't. It wasn't me that you were thinking about. You was thinking about your damn self, and she couldn't stand that. It would make her mad, man. She'd get madder than hell when I tell her the truth. I'd be like, don't try to tell me that because you always had some kind of dude on the side taking care of everything, that was your way of giving me a good life, you know? And I love my mom to death. She was my best friend. But I wasn't going to take that as an adult. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because she's drunk and feeling sad about something or mad at me, I would throw it back at her. Of course, when we had those arguments, the very next day we were making up. If it wasn't me going to her first, it was her coming in my room before I even woke up. Especially if we'd had a bad argument and she'd been really off the wall. She'd come in the next morning and be like, son, I didn't mean none of that shit. And of course that's I knew it. Just like I didn't mean half the crap I said. So that's Oh, before we do decide to end this stream or anything, excuse me. I like sharing this. The other day we had a stream and it went really well. I had a person come in. Somebody showed up in the stream that Well, first, I'd never seen them, so I didn't know if they were subscribed, because sometimes there's people that have been subscribed to my channel and they've never commented, but yet one day they show up in the live stream and I'm like, oh, I don't recognize the name. I don't know if you're subbing. They're like, oh yeah, I've been watching for a while. This is the first time I've actually commented or said anything. And this first time I'm what there's actually some people that have told me at some point, oh yeah, I catch your streams. I just don't ever say anything. I'm like, oh, okay. But this person was new. And so, they asked the question, Israel or Palestine. And I was like, the first thing I said was, I truthfully don't care. And then I was like, well, actually, I do care. And I was like, but I'm not going to like answer this in a way where you can catch. I thought someone was trolling me and trying to get me to answer one way or the other. Which one of those am I on? I got to pick a freaking side. And you know what I did? The spirit flowed through me, and the answer was, and I think this is the correct answer, I'm on the side of humanity. So anyone that's being the oppressor, I'm against. Anyone, like, I believe that we all should have the freedom to move around and freely think as we want to, as long as we're not shoving it down other people's throats and we're not trying to actually interfere with other people's lives. Like, if anything I'm doing may harm me, but it's my choice, if I'm not interfering with other people and I'm not bothering you, then we should be able to get along and find the common ground. And then the stuff that we don't have common ground, we leave it at the table. But anyway, so my answer was that. And then because I didn't know where they were coming from with that question at first, it turned out that they were over in Palestine. And I thought that was really awesome. That I had somebody, he said he lives in Jordan. We had a really good back and forth. Everybody in the chat was respectful to them. They were respectful to us. I don't know what their religion is. I don't know if they're Muslim, Christian, Jew, whatever, agnostic, atheist. We didn't get into the religious aspect of it. Once I found out the area of the world that they were in, I found it very interesting. And at one point, the guy said, I've got to go. I'm going to get off the chat because I hear bombs. Like, he got spooked. He heard bombs. He didn't know if there were some bombs going to be coming even closer. He heard them in the distance. He got out of the chat. But he ended up coming back. But like, when he said that, I was like, oh, hey, dude, I think if I heard bombs, if I lived in an area like that, and I might be a little caught, be like, hey, been great, enjoying chatting, but there's some bombs going on. I got to go, kind of like take shelter or whatever. Yeah. Well, we did get into like a philosophical conversation during that moment the other day, because I said, me personally, I've studied a lot. Like, in my earlier years, I was interested in anything I could find out about anything that involved a belief in God. So you study other cultures, you study other religions, trying to find out your own understanding, or that's how I am. Like, I've said this over and over. I wasn't happy just accepting everything they told me. Still ain't. It's to this day, I don't accept every single, like, I am not trying to be, what do you call it? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out how do you say it. Let's just say, I've said this time and time again. For me, I'm going to listen to what has already, when I know that it's really the spirit speaking in whatever way, whether it's in my head, through something I'm seeing, through another person, whatever, that's what I'm going to go with. Just because someone else is telling me I'm incorrect about my relationship and my understanding, I'm not going to argue with them usually, because there's no point in it. Because if someone's already set in stone the way they think and they're not able to have any kind of decent conversation without trying to convince you why you're wrong, then I don't care to talk. But if we can have a talk and bring things to the table where we might both leave learning a little bit, then that's what I want to do. So basically, I was just saying, I've had Muslim friends, I've had Hindu friends, I've had, I've known Buddhists, I've known atheists, I've known agnostics. I was agnostic at one time, All agnostic is you're just not certain. Doesn't mean that you don't believe in something. You just don't know. You don't know what it is you believe, and you just want to know a little more. Excuse me. So that's kind of that. Let me see where my battery is. Oh, well, that's all I'm getting at is that I've learned for myself, and I can't tell anybody else how to do it. But I've learned for myself that that's the only way I can be certain. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, even to this day, even people that are really well knowledgeable and they speak most of the time, like even if I go to church and stuff, I still even have questions myself sometimes. Some of the things I hear from a preacher, it's not like I'm not going to just be. I'm not just going to accept every single thing the person says if something doesn't click right with me. I'm going to go out and I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to do my own readings. I'm going to try to see, am I wrong for maybe thinking they're wrong, or am I correct in that they might have, they did. And then some people just, like for me, I have to let some people just be where they're at. When it comes to God, some people I can talk about the big kahuna all day long, and we can have like a really wide open conversation where it goes all over the place, where we talk about all the different theories and the different concepts and our different understandings and all kinds of stuff. And then, some people I meet and there's no way I could share half the stuff I've learned in my life. Because if I did, some of the things that I've studied in my life that aren't necessarily Christian or whatever, certain people I start talking to about any of the other stuff outside of the so-called Christian faith, people want to tell me why I'm wrong. You shouldn't read anything outside of this. You don't need to know anything about any of it. Well, you know what? If you're that scared of it, then don't go touch it. But I'm confident I can do it. I can study it. I can read it. God will show me what's right and wrong from it. If there's something that I don't see that seems right, then I don't continue reading it. But there's a lot of stuff I've found that has helped me along the way, So I just like people to know that I am a very open-minded person when it comes to some things, and I understand that not everybody has the same relationship I have, and not everybody has the same understanding because for whatever reason. So I've learned that it's good to learn how to discern within a certain amount of time when I meet someone for the first time, how far can I go down the rabbit hole? I mean, like, for instance, there's certain things I couldn't go to the Church of God up the road that I go to and talk about some of this stuff that I do talk about. They'd be wanting to lay hands on me and shout the demons out of me all of a sudden. Like if I went in there talking about some of the stuff that I've learned and things I know, I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. They're going to tell me exactly why I'm wrong. They're going to tell me we got to, you need deliverance and all this other stuff. And it's like, hey, I'm here, ain't I? And I understand where y'all are at. And I'm on the same team. It's just that I kind of went out and learned other things and have been guided to have a full, well-rounded knowledge of some stuff. Because sometimes sometimes like the enemy would rather you not study any of it so that you don't know how to maybe handle some of what comes at you. Think about that for a minute. I know the big kahuna would rather me have a little bit of knowledge about some of the tactics that people use on the dark side of things so that when I'm presented with attacks in that manner from like a magical standpoint, I know what to do. That's all I'm saying. We'll leave it at that. I hope I'm not scaring anybody away with my open form of thought and thinking here. You get what I'm saying? Like I've come to understand. Like I wish things worked through osmosis. I wish I could just tap somebody on the shoulder and they instantly are able to experience all of the stuff that I've been shown from the spirit, the things I've experienced, the things I've learned from other people that had even deeper relationships and even better understandings. But it don't work that way. No matter what I do, it's not gonna. I can talk about it, I can share it, and then if it clicks with somebody, it clicks with them. You know, if you are able to accept some of what I'm sharing, you don't have to. I always tell everybody, even what I'm sharing, it's only from my experience. So you can't. So don't take what I'm saying as gospel. You know, it may be gospel to me, but that don't make it necessarily gospel to the next person. If they're not ready to understand it, then they're just not ready. It's like somebody that's not ready to be uh, someone that's not ready to even have a conversation about God at all because they don't want to hear it, they don't want to believe it. Well, you just have to sometimes let them be there. You know, like I know there's a lot of people that think we're supposed to like go and shove it at everybody and like, oh no, you got to be so. I go, do you know Jesus Christ? Do you know Jesus? Hey, you know Jesus. Like a lot of people spend a lot of days assuming that somebody don't know Jesus. I hope I didn't spook you. I don't think I did. You seem like a person that you're old enough and you've been there and done. You know what I mean? You've experienced some things too that if I wasn't making any sense and it was offensive or you thought I was incorrect, I believe you're the kind of person that would say, well, Gray Cloud, I'm going to disagree with you on that. You might not tell me why you would at least express to me why you thought I was off point. And I would listen. I would take it in consideration. And then if it was a good point you're making that maybe I'm, not my, maybe I need to rethink my thinking, I'm willing to accept that. And that's how we get better. So I appreciate you, Victoria. You have a good day. You know how we say it. Ditto. Go. We're coming up on an hour here. Have a wonderful, blessed day. And whoever else is watching, I appreciate it. I know that we've had at one point there was 5 sets of eyes on us, and then that disappeared. Victoria was here pretty much the whole time. There has been somebody else definitely watching, at least one other person consistently, and I appreciate it. I don't know who you are, and it's cool that some people don't want to say anything. They just want to be there. They just want to listen. Maybe there's something that you like my voice, you like what I say, you like what the conversation is. I appreciate that. And that's just the way, like it is. Like okay. And, I didn't have to put that up on the screen, but I'm just kind of like trying to show if anybody does want to help out today. I was kind of showing that I do have information up there. I'm not making this ain't no begging stream. I just put that there. So if you're able to help out, I appreciate it. Like I say, even a prayer, even if you don't pray, just a positive thought will help me, that is appreciated, any of that kind of stuff. But we're on our way. I'm working on getting these watch hours up. And, I do have to concentrate a little bit on the second channel, but this primary channel is growing pretty quick, I think. I'm seeing substantial amount of growth compared to this time last year. And it continues to be pretty evenly flowing in the growth. So I'm happy about that. So I'm going to attend to this channel way more for the time being. We are at 70 something subscribers on the second channel. And here, let me see. So let me do something real quick. Let's do something real quick. I'm going to just do this. Give me a second. I thought it was already downloaded, but I guess it
Have a happy cloudy. Have a happy cloud day, everybody. Have a happy cloud day. God bless you.
God bless you. I thought y'all might think that's funny. I wanted to show you that. What's this here? Let's do it again.
Have a happy cloudy. Have a happy cloud day, everybody. Have a happy cloud day. God bless you.
So I'm having fun doing that kind of stuff, guys. That's kind of the you see me playing around and learning this, trying to learn how I can navigate here and then make the streams even funner. So that's where we're at on that end. I will go back to and let me come back to the chat just in case anybody does want to say something. And once again, like I said, I appreciate that Victoria was here. And this was just me being a little anxious, I guess, this morning. I hadn't started the day much yet, and I wanted to, like I said, I hadn't even done the Jesus Calling video yet. And yesterday was a really good, glorious day. I had a good stream on the channel. Then I went over to Johnny Scab's channel yesterday afternoon. If you go into the community, here on the channel, you'll find a link to Johnny Scab's live stream from yesterday. If you're wanting to check out me being on there with him, he was using Restream for the first time, and it was a test run, and we were on for about an hour. Really had a good back and forth conversation. It was no specific topic. Johnny is a cool dude, I think. He lives over in England, artist, musician type dude, actor. I don't know what he actually like. I don't know what his specific job is, but I know that's part of his stuff. And then he wears masks on screen. He's got these masks that he makes that is like his trademark. So it is a thing that he does pretty regular, but like like he said, it's kind of his gimmick. Where like as far as publicly on video, on live streams, anything like that, you won't ever see his actual face. which is cool with me. I think it's cool, you know. There's some channels here. There's some channels here on YouTube where people don't ever show their face. They just have their little avatar, you know. Some people aren't comfortable with it. I've always been comfortable with myself enough to be able to just, you know, like I might get uncomfortable trying to, how do we put it? I might get uncomfortable in the beginning of going live, or like when I used to play music, I'd get a little anxious before a show. But once I got up on stage and got going, it was all good. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter. There's always a little nervousness right before you perform anything, and I take doing live streams kind of like I'm performing something. I'm not. I know I'm not here like doing anything fancy, but sometimes, you know, I'm reading you something, or we're playing on a little bucket or on the tub here. You know what I mean? It's kind of lean and in between. Do you know what I mean? Kind of lean and in between. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I see? Come on, can you believe? You know, I don't have specific words memorized other than the lean and kind of lean and in between. And then also the line, can you read between the lines? Can you cross over away from the lies? You know what I mean? Like I have that kind of worked out there, but I'm still developing it. And mad happy with what Chris Meeks did for me yesterday. He played some acoustic to the short. I guess he played it on another device like I did yesterday, playing the drum beat that I found. And then I came up with words. I uploaded it. He liked it. He's like, let me try to do something with that. I was like, yeah. He uploaded the short. That short is also in the community. So you can go see a link in my community post that'll take you to Meeks Entertainment's channel. And also, if you ain't subscribed to his channel, please subscribe to his channel. And matter of fact, if I had the link right now, I'd just post it. But maybe next time. What I'm getting at, though, is so it's a rough version, but he did some little guitar to it. And you hear me singing there, and you hear the drum beat that I was using. Like, it's kind of complicated. I wish I had not messed up last year on the laptop that was sent to me. There was a really nice laptop sent to me by a dear friend and subscriber to the channel. And my dumbass went and pawned it. I don't have an ID, had to pawn it in somebody else's name. The very next month, when I had the money to go get it out, the person that I had it in their name was mad at me and was like, I ain't going to get your fucking computer out. So I just left it at that. I was like, well, you live and learn, Great Cloud, and you kind of bit yourself in the ass there. You had something, a great opportunity in your hands, and you just shit it away. But you know what I learned? Evidently, I wasn't ready for it at the time. That was something that I must have not been ready for. So I'm not going to stress it. I'm not going to stress it. I'm not going to, like, my friend helped me out, and I feel like I let them down by doing what I did and not being able to pursue getting that thing out, you know. Probably what I should have done was had Betty pawn it for me, because she wouldn't have, me and Betty always get along, and she would have went and got it out for me the next month. But I'm not a victim, you know, a victim of my own choices. Hey, I live my dream, and I just want to Somehow your beautiful face again. Oh, 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 maybe in the end. Sarah, oh Sarah, how you made a difference in my life. Oh Sarah, oh Sarah. Ditto, 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 ditto. Honey, baby, sugar pie, you were mine. I loved you all the time. Still a tear to hold dear to my heart. Oh, Sarah, don't let it go. Don't. Sarah, you were always dear to me, dear to my heart. Son of a crapper. Okay, I am not quite understanding this. How did I miss? How did we get off of this? I don't understand. I don't understand. So we got that back. And we got that. I'm trying to see what happened to my there we go. Ditto. Ditto equals I love you. Ditto. Ditto equals I love you in memory of this dearest young lady here that you see on the screen. Sarah, we miss you, but you're still here in my dreams. That's Sarah Boylan. That's why we say ditto on this channel. And please remember, hit like, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate it. I'm going to get off here and we will go live again later today, probably.